Hi guys, NFP report due on Friday this upcoming week. With that, we have a ton of news potentially. ADP employment change, we have news from Canada, we have the unemployment figures from Canada, as well as obviously the interest rate decision early on. So let's get started to check what potentially goes during this next week. Welcome to our weekly market outlook, obviously. And we had a week, this week was basically not filled with a lot of information. Market momentum was quite limited in general, though equities started to weaken slightly. At a certain resistance area, we saw the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, which by the way also technically kind of remains below recent low points or high points actually, and the DAX, which was gearing a momentum. So Dow Jones moving higher, S&P somehow higher as well, new all-time high created, NASDAQ lagging behind. Tech stocks potentially weakening further. What are crypto markets doing? Cryptos are actually kind of showing a bit of a mixed picture. Let's start with these, since they might offer potential interesting opportunities. So if we're looking at Bitcoin, we saw that this week here on the weekly charting basis, the market has and is still trading to the downside after the market broke basically last week the high points. The market Bitcoin wasn't able to kind of trade beyond the 50 moving average. Instead, the market was sliding 2 days back on Thursday, another attempt to run higher, Friday down, and now the market's momentum looking kind of quite weak. And if we are able to weaken even below this slightly bluish area, we could see, and we saw that this trend line here basically has been broken. The market might actually continue to slide to lower price levels, as obviously kind of the current market sentiment might suggest. What else is upcoming? Well, we have Ether not really doing anything much. Yeah, the market only above 2,850. That's not only the 50 moving average in gray color, which acts as a resistance area, but also this horizontal support resistance zone needs to be broken to unleash further upside momentum. Only if this area kind of forces or can be broken, the market will be kind of positively impacted and upside potential might unfold. XRP, and by the way, these markets are kind of quite similar, is doing the same story, the same pattern, not too much happening at the moment. So sideways potential, and this long-term $65 still the strong and main resistance area. Only if that area is kind of really being pushed aside, we could see something like we've seen here in the past, right? Only then another rocket to the moon, Elon Musk upside full momentum could occur. That's in regards to crypto. So mixed picture, rather a bit of a grim outlook for now. Dollar strength. Well, we see the greenback gearing up momentum. Non-farm payrolls on Friday. Let's start with the news right now. Might offer some interesting insights. We got the non-farm payroll figures. They're expected better with 164,000 newly created jobs. Will this be kind of the truth in the end? Well, the dollar might gear up some steam, and despite the recent news that the Federal Reserve is expected to basically reduce interest rates, we could see that this news event in September, soon to follow, is going to be priced in. Everyone knows about it, so that's nothing new, and hence obviously the greenback might kind of get back on the feet again anytime soon. With that, we could see currency pairs, the euro weakening potentially, as it is at the moment. The pound potentially turning to the downside. And then the non-farm payroll, as said, dollar strength being of big impact for equity markets, obviously, as well as the crypto markets, right? Anything in regards to, or anything measured in US dollars will lose some momentum when the greenback, when the US dollar is gearing up some steam. So that's the non-farm payroll report. And as quite often, we have news from Canada this week on Friday. In a minute, we'll check out the US Canadian dollar currency pair. This is kind of quite interesting. Why? Because the market was gearing up momentum in favor of the greenback, the US dollar. The chart reveals, right, that basically the market was really starting to weaken. And right at this super cool, remember in our trading group we talked about it here, this a strong pin bar candlestick pattern, causing the market to weaken, causing the market to even break this 50 moving average after a while, and hence releasing upside momentum for the Canadian dollar stronger, obviously causing this market to weaken. Support, then changing direction towards being resistance here on the right side, and now the market is obviously kind of up and running in favor of the loonie, as it's called, the Canadian dollar, and any break, any retracement towards the 136 psychological round number, any market retracement higher. By the way, we have the 50 moving average right on top of this area, could be of significance in order to find entry opportunities. The arrow shows it here, to potentially sell the market again. Previous support, as said, black line broken, now turning resistance. So if the market is able, maybe with the news throughout the week, 100 pips to the upside, basically we could see downside momentum. News-wise, we have something else brewing this coming week, which is basically the interest rate decision, Bank of Canada. So 4.25%, another 25 basis points a reduction here. We've seen this fairly recently, April 5%. Then in June, the interest rate had been reduced from 5% to 4.75%. In July, another rate decrease had happened, and now in September we could see the same story going to unfold. This clearly does not actually inhibit the Canadian dollar from gearing up steam, and that's the clear takeaway we see here. Dollar can't weaker, and retracement, as said, could be of significance here to see the market potentially kind of fading off the cliff again and causing downside momentum again. And the same story potentially happening in the euro against the Canadian dollar. Let's check out the daily chart here. Again, strong and previous resistance and support area. This was of significant resistance. Then it turned kind of as support. The support was broken, and the market now kind of falling off the cliff. This might cause that this area, the 50 moving average, has been broken and is already bending to the downside. Any retracement to this zone here might be used to celebrate Canadian dollar, I have to be precise, Canadian dollar strength again. EuroCAD might hence fall, of course, as well in this case. Well, the euro, and that's the clear takeaway. The euro is losing some sort of momentum against the Canadian dollar, against the greenback, against other currencies here. The euro US dollar currency pair, to sum up the most heavily traded currency pair globally, has been giving way here. 112, strong resistance zone. It is not, or has not been broken. Instead, the market might kind of cause some downside momentum, and with that we could see that the euro dollar might actually weaken again somehow further. Daily chart looking kind of quite weak. Weekly chart, monthly chart, they all suggest market momentum to the downside might occur. And now we are back to the same story. What ended at the end of August to basically find some profit taking, right? Euro stronger, and last trading days in August, retracement to the downside. The question is now, will September begin with euro strength to see this market slightly rising, to then mid of September weakening, or will we see the market at the first trading days in September, and though this coming week, to weaken like we've seen in the past here? We could see that the market actually fades again, and then we would be well within this trend line here, or this trending area, where the market might just simply resume the downside momentum, where this wobbling around is just giving way, and we could see that downside momentum might be on the cards. The economy in the US obviously kind of starting to depreciate, well, weaken somehow. The Eurozone, similar story. Obviously high prices, energy prices, talking about the economic locomotive Germany. This is obviously the big story inhibiting potential positivity. When I talk to business partners and friends back in Germany, they mostly say, the economy and the sentiment is negative. So we need to see another uplift. The biggest chemical company, BASF, BASF, Ludwigshafen, southern Germany, they move quite a bit of their production to foreign countries, as much as China, obviously, since energy prices obviously are the big inhibiting factor from growth, and that's alone one of the big important stories here, which causes the economic development to be rather negative. We shall see how the story unfolds in the Eurozone, and hence obviously on how the Euro-US dollar currency pair is going to be kind of moving anytime soon. News-wise, what else do we have this coming week? Bank of Canada, we talked about. ISM, not too important. Job openings, JOLTS job openings, they are all, this one here, they're all not really super hot figures, but we have enough. We have Bank of Canada interest rate decision. We have ADP employment change. We have those figures slightly higher expected. Will we see stronger numbers than compared to the expectation? The US dollar might actually start to appreciate. Euro dollar down, Aussie maybe down, pound maybe down. Will we see weaker numbers? Obviously, all aforementioned currency pairs might rise again. And then we'll round up the week here, this coming week. Unemployment figures, so dollar, Canadian dollar, tricky currency pair on Friday. We have unemployment from Canada, same time NFP report from the US, which obviously would be able to potentially cause market momentum to be quite interesting. Guys, stay tuned for further updates next week, and looking forward, of course, to get your insights here and your comments under the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and talk to you soon. See you then, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.